So, good morning, students. Today in this class, we are going to learn about Bohr's atomic model. Dear students, in class 9th, we have discussed about Rutherford atomic model, even Bohr's atomic model, and Sommerfeld atomic model. And let us in this session, we can learn a little bit more information about Bohr's atomic model. And in 1913, Bohr's atomic model. Bohr's atomic model. Dear students, in the year 1913, Niels Bohr proposed an atomic model and named it as Bohr's atomic model, and to overcome the defects of Rutherford model. In Rutherford, we observed some failures, drawbacks. I'll repeat that, whatever the drawbacks made by Rutherford. The major drawbacks which are made by Rutherford is when electron continuously revolving around the nucleus, if it is lost energy while revolving continuously, the electron may fall into the nucleus, the nucleus may collapse. But as per the physics, nucleus is stable. So this is one of the major drawback which Rutherford could not explain. So to overcome the defects of Rutherford, Niels Bohr put forward with a new atomic model named as Bohr atomic model. Let us discuss today in this class about Niels Bohr atomic model. Children, according to Niels Bohr, for example, generally you know very well, this is the nucleus. Okay, the center part of the atom is called nucleus. In the nucleus, especially, protons and neutrons are present in the nucleus, and they are called as nucleons. Generally, in class 9, we discussed about nucleons. What are called nucleons? Where they exist? Nucleons are nothing but the particles which are inside the atom are called nucleons. They are protons and neutrons are called nucleons. And electrons revolving on the nucleus. In a specified orbits. For example, children, these are the paths. The electrons which are revolving at the nucleus in a specified path is called orbit or shells. So as long as electrons revolving at the nucleus and the path in which the electron revolving around the nucleus is called orbit. So according to Niels Bohr, as long as the electron revolving around the nucleus, their energy is constant. And this constant energy orbits are called, you can say, stationary orbits or stationary cells. Stationary cells are stationary orbits. Okay. So as long as electrons revolve around the nucleus and they do not radiate energy, the paths that are shells are constant. So they are called as stationary cells or stationary orbits. And so each and every stationary orbit or cell designated by the particular symbols. They are nothing but K, L, M and N. K, L, M, N are the each and every stationary cells. They are designated by the symbols K, L, M, N with respect to n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to 4. If n equal to 1 is a case, each and every stationary cell designated by the symbol K, L, M, N with respect to n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So n equal to 1 means generally what it is children? N equal to 1 means it is a K cell. N equal to 2 means it is a L cell. N equal to 3 means it is a M cell. N equal to 4 means it is a N cell, and so on. So K cell, L cell, M cell, L cell. And once again, the cell which is very close to the nucleus, the cell which is very close to the nucleus is called least energy cell, or as the least energy. So here the least energy cell is which one here? Least energy cell is, that is nothing but K cell. K cell is very as the least energy cell because which is very close to the nucleus. At the same time, the cell which is away from the nucleus, the cell which is away from the nucleus, this is especially the cell N has highest energy. The cell N has highest energy because very away from the nucleus. It's very away from the nucleus. So the main thing is Bohr's model. He explained that whenever the electrons revolve in the nucleus, it do not lose energy. So if do not lose energy, the electron cannot fall to the nucleus. But whereas Rutherford, this drawback was not explained. That is a major failure by Rutherford. But as long as electrons are revolving around the nucleus, they do not lose energy. Okay, and each and every shell or orbit is designated by the symbol K, L, M, N with respect to n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, at the same time, the cell which is very close to nucleus has least energy, the cell which is very away from the nucleus has highest energy. Okay, now the electrons, whenever the electrons jumps from higher energy level to lower energy level, the electrons jumps from higher energy level to lower energy levels, okay, then the energy is released. The energy is released, that is E2 minus, you can say E2 minus E1 equal to h nu. That means what? When electron jumps from E2 minus E1 means what? Electron jumps from higher energy level to lower energy level, such amount of energy released in the form of a radiation. The same time, electron jumps, moves from low energy level to high energy level, energy absorbed. Energy is absorbed when jumps from low energy level to higher energy level. And especially, the energies of electron, especially, children, the energies of electron in an atom can have only certain values, E1, E2, E3, etc. That is, the energy is quantized. The states corresponding to three energies are called stations of states, and the possible values of energy are called energy levels. So, these are the little bit information of Bohr atomic model and what are its limitations. And Bohr model failed to account for splitting of light spectra. As splitting of light spectra, it is failed, and especially this model failed to account for the atomic spectra of atoms of more than one electron. So it could not explain the atomic spectra of higher elements which are having more than one electron. For example, it is accountable for only hydrogen, but it could not explain about the atomic spectra of spectral lines of higher elements which are having more than one electron, that is helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so this is the major drawbacks. At the same time, the model could not explain about the formation of chemical bonds, and also this model could not explain about the Zeeman effects. What is called Zeeman effect? Zeeman effect, nothing but especially the splitting of spectral line in the presence of magnetic field is called Zeeman effect. And also why the lines are splitting in the presence of magnetic field, and this also could not explained by the Niels Bohr. So these are the four drawbacks which Niels Bohr could not explain. Again, there is one more model is there to overcome these defects of Bohr's model. There is another model proposed by Sommerfeld. Sommerfeld. So about this we can learn in next class. Thank you and have a nice day.